here we are, I think. It's hard to tell. As always, Professor Matthews learning about movies, my February live stream, which I'm going to go through many things. I'm going to talk about what I've watched, what I strongly recommend to you on streaming services. We're going to talk about movies in general. I got lots of stupid stuff here. I have not mentioned the Oscars yet, the 2026 Oscars, and whether you hate that or you're into it or somewhere in between or you don't care, I'm going to try to make you care a tiny bit. I have reasons why. I want to talk about it just briefly, and it's shooting the breeze, and if you don't care, I care even less, and yet I am interested in them to some extent. Here is my Substack on the screen, so I'll be using my browser here to talk about what I've watched and what I think other people should watch. And if you're in the chat, welcome. Good to see you. Please leave a question. I'll probably answer it, probably deal with the chat later on because it's enjoyable and fun. Substack. So I've got stuff on there. That's the best way to actually donate is to sign up as a paid subscriber. It's the lowest price on Substack, $5 a month. Is that how much it is? Or $30 a year? It's better than a channel membership. However, you do get a channel membership, you get my videos ahead of time. And if you have any ideas for what you want as bonus content for membership, let me know, and I'll try to deal with it. But as always, this is a hobby. I have a full-time job as a professor. Professor of many things. One of the things that I do is movies, film criticism, whatever. So this article, can young people even sit through movies anymore? Actually, that's my Substack, but there was an article online about how film professors were complaining about how kids could not sit through Jules and Jim, a 60-year-old Francois Truffaut movie, which was delightful to me, and I picked it apart a little bit and got upset, but agreed with some of it. So anyway, Substack is fun. So there's that. Also, I have a Letterboxd account if you are interested, which I'll show you later anyway. What's the first thing I want to do with? You guys even watching movies anymore? Are you watching old movies, new movies? Do you care? Like, everybody in my life seems to not care about movies. In fact, I have a wide range of people in my life. I'm not sure any of them go to the movie theater anymore. And I'm talking people who used to go as kids and adults. I'm talking people my age or older, not really going. And there's many reasons possible for why. I won't speculate now. And we've talked about that on this channel a little bit. So the Oscars here, hate them, love them, whatever. They are a marketing scheme. I've said this for many years. Scheme is too harsh of a word, but they're for marketing. They're for putting a label on movies and selling more of them. A Best Picture winner, Oscar nominee. This has been the case since their inception, but especially from the age of television, when you could see them on TV, through maybe the present day. I mean, something's going to happen on this show that's going to anger people or get them upset. If Will Smith is there, punches somebody, probably a good thing for the Oscars. But mostly, as I've highlighted before, a lot of old people involved. I mean, I'm sorry to say they're old people, my age or older, but that's true. So Conan O'Brien is hosting. I love Conan O'Brien. I enjoy him. I don't know how many people who I teach, and certainly I have to ask my own children if they know him. Anyway, what are the Oscars actually good for? They're good for tracking what was liked or popular amongst a certain group of people in a present moment. So they keep track of historical data. And I use that historical data to make points. And I don't have to believe that the Oscar winner in 1978 was a good one. In fact, most of the time I don't. I have a whole revisiting the Oscar series on my channel, which almost every single year, I've now done 20 some of these videos. I think the Oscar for Best Picture was not definitely the best picture. But it is of interest to keep track of what people at the time liked or thought was good or worthy of a giant award. So here we go. And already we see something I think is a little silly, which is there are 10 Best Picture nominees, but only 5 Best Director nominees. They never have expanded this Best Director category, which is a really important category. It'd be even more, that category is even more interesting to me, although it's always been tagged along with the Best Picture. I mean, my brief excursion into this is like they usually have 4 of the 5 Best Directors are in Best Picture, and usually don't separate these two categories much. Of this whole group, as you probably know, but if you don't, this movie Sinners is the most nominated movie in Oscar history. That was slightly to my surprise. I thought One Battle After Another, if something was going to get it from this year, that would be it. Although that got a lot of nominees too. Have you seen Sinners? Do you like this movie? I am willing to say it's okay to decently entertaining. It is not The Godfather, but then what movie is? I know that's a stupid thing to say. It's not going to be an all-time classic. I have a hard time seeing this movie in 40 to 60 years and people coming back to it and going, oh, that one. Oh, yeah. But then that's true of most Best Picture winners. Anyway, the question I have is then if it were to win Best Picture winner, how silly of a choice would that be? And of the Best Picture nominees, I'm not really sure. To me, this isn't a wonderful year in terms of outstanding movies. I think there are several good movies this year, but I'm not sure of this crew or of any other movie you could put in here what you might choose. So this could be there tend to be these hot and cold years for the Oscars, years that are overloaded with excellent movies, and then years that are they're a drought. There's not very good choices. So that might be this year. I don't know what you think. What do you think? But I have not seen Marty Supreme. I have not seen Hamnet. So I really don't know. Of these choices, and Secret Agent Sentimental Value are not going to win. So of these choices, it's probably between One Battle After Another. I've not looked at the betting markets, and then Sinners. I did not care for Sinners much. It's not of my interest. I thought it was a movie that I've seen before. It has some cool shots in it. I don't find much special about it, truth be told. But you can go look up my views on Letterboxd. I don't know what I would want to win, though. I have shown Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out movie, to a few people. I've recommended it first to my family, second to other people, and there's been no one who hasn't said, hey, that was a pretty good movie. It's a really good movie. And I don't know why that one isn't on here. It may not be the best movie of the lot here, but I kind of actually want it here. Someone says it was a decent year for horror. If you would humor me, what horror movies? Could you make a list or name a few, and then we'll look at them later on? Because as you know, horror doesn't do very well at the Oscars. Sinners is a horror. It's kind of a horror movie, but it's not like all-in horror, is it? I don't know. Frankenstein, sort of, but not really all in. And Guillermo del Toro is a Oscar favorite, of course. Now, when I looked at just to humor me a little bit, the actor categories, what I'm interested in is if Hollywood is trying to appeal to young people. So for the past few years, I've noted how geriatric these categories have been. Shockingly, go look at a few of the best actress categories. 50 plus is like the average age for the last at least 2 years, if not several years. So I did try to eyeball the ages of these, and they're skewing a little bit younger, a little bit. Of the best actress category, for example, I was thinking most of them are born between 78 and 1990. So we're dealing with late Gen X millennial types. And I don't know if that's old to you. It's not quite old to me, but it's older in terms of to some extent Oscar history, which has favored for good or a lot for ill younger women. But it's true also of the best actor category. There are, well, how old is Wagner Moura? I actually don't know. Anyway, 76. Yeah, he's 50? He'd be 50 this year. So these are tending slightly younger, but not that young. And especially the best actor supporting role category, besides Mr. I should never pronounce his name correctly, Elordi. This is an old category. So there you go. Of these, if you like weird stuff, I did actually appreciate Begonia. And I think that movie is capturing some massive tensions, cultural tensions of interest, including hate for CEOs, but acknowledgement that there are so many wackos out there. It's unconscionable. The whole I hate to bring this up. Let's see if I can not get blocked. The whole I don't know an alternate word for it. Going after a public figure in a violent way thing that's been happening. And every 6 months to a year, we get one of these incidents. So it's got that going on for it. It's science fictional. I appreciate that. Train Dreams is okay, so check those out. That's about all I want to say. Anybody else have anything to say about the Oscars? You have a favorite? I don't know. I actually fine with one battle after another winning. It has some fantastic stretches in it. So for that reason alone, there you go. Let's jump to nonsense. In fact, the way that news works, as you know, my entire life is that here it comes, capturing attention, which has advertising dollars attached to it. This is my very cynical take. And then it moves on to the next new fancy shiny object with advertising dollars attached to it. So this came up on social media over, I don't know, a week or two ago, and then it's gone, but I wanted to bring it up because it's legit insane to me, everything about it. And I'm focusing on this one where Elon Musk, who I think you all know, says that Christopher Nolan has, quote, lost his integrity with The Odyssey, the new movie of Nolan's, if Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen of Troy. So this idea that a black woman is playing Helen of Troy stirred up a number of people. The first problem here is we don't even know if this is true. So I do not understand why people don't wait to have complete and total verification of the truth or falsehood of a matter. Well, I do understand, you can't jump in and wrestle with this news that's tentative and hypothetical. You'd have to wait, and once you wait too long, no one cares. So there's that angle here. The other one, of course, is, to me, this was about advertising for the movie, to just have some banter about it. And like, people who oppose this stuff, they don't realize how much they're advertising. That has been true my whole adult life, going all the way back to Scorsese's Jesus movie, which I'm forgetting the name of, in the 1980s, when people got totally outraged about that. Just gave it a lot of attention and made me pay attention, and I ended up watching it later on in life. Might not have cared, although Scorsese's name was attached to it. Anyway, as far as Lupita playing Helen of Troy, I thought this was a norm and a thing that people were doing forever, playing. It's silly in some cases, maybe in all cases, most cases, to have, different races playing different parts that may not fit, with a lot of scorn sometimes, and like, who cares other times. So I find this, as a cultural critic, of interest. This is the choice they make in 2026. Let's think about why they're doing this, what would be of interest about this, etc. But other people like to spend their time and energy complaining about it, so whatever. I usually don't give a rip about that stuff. Although, there's a hypocrisy involved with it. People will care or not care, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I will check out what... Thought it was dumb seeing Nordic Chris... Isn't Chris Hemsworth Nordic? I thought he was Australian. Wait a minute. He's Nordic because he's Thor. Is that what you mean? Is he Nordic or Australian? We'll figure this out later. I've never talked about this, but I always pay attention to it. Every month, Criterion Collection says, here are our new releases, and I'm always interested in what they're going to put out. So maybe I'll do this every 3 or 4 months, which is to highlight what's coming into the Criterion Collection, which of course you should wait to buy during their half-off sales. So the first thing I'll tell you, I picked up this movie Cloud, which I really liked. It does not qualify for the 2026 Oscars as far as I remember. I don't think it does. Otherwise, I would say put it on there and vote for it, but it doesn't. I really did like this movie quite a bit, with the intertwining of classic noir, discussions of modern Japanese culture, and then how the internet affects the real world. I'm really interested in that. All over the place, how the virtual realities that people are enmeshed in and spend hours a day involved in impacts their real lives, and not vice versa. Vice versa is kind of obvious, how real life impacts the internet, but Man, the virtual life is unbelievably impactful on real life. They've got network. Now, a lot of these are 4K releases. I believe this is a 4K. They already have the Blu-ray in the collection. I am really happy they put the Coen Brothers movie in here. The Man Who Wasn't There from the early 2000s. Go watch this movie. A great noir. And I have a whole video on it. Documentary. I think this is underwatched and very interesting movie. I know a couple of you like this who watch this channel, so you'll back me up. They put Killers of the Flower Moon in here by Scorsese. That's worth watching. It's very good in my opinion, and I'm glad they have it in here, so I'll be picking that up. And by the way, if you see movies on here I don't know, because I'm not highlighting all of them, then tell me. The Blade, I don't know what this is, but it's going to fool me because I'm going to think it's Blade with Wesley Snipes. So I hope I don't mix that up and buy it. But to me, that's a cool looking cover, which is one reason I love to check these out. Was Life of Brian in the collection? The Monty Python, second Monty Python? I don't know. I'll probably get that. And a movie that I do not like. I think the soundtrack is awful. Very dated, but... don't listen to me. A lot of other people like this movie, including a lot of directors who say good things about it, is Point Blank by John Borman from the late 1960s. Gangster drama, modern abstraction, stylized revenge thriller. Lee Marvin's in it. Lee Marvin is always a cool-looking guy. So check that out. I think that's worth looking into. I have not seen these other movies in the Singleton trilogy, so I don't know about these. So we'll see. But this is okay. This is an okay batch. I'm less enthusiastic about the 4K stuff, like the Blu-rays being moved into 4K. I don't think I've seen Viridiana, although I cannot remember, from Louis Buñuel, whatever. Sorry, my pronunciation is acknowledgedly awful. Now, what I really wanted to get to, what the thumbnail of this video is about, what to watch on streaming. And if I go, this is Criterion, I do not get paid by them. And in fact, I got paid by a lawsuit that was done against them. Did you guys get this? As a member, I've subscribed to the Criterion channel since its inception. And in the mail this month, I got a $53 check from a class action lawsuit I didn't remember being a part of. And they got sued because they gave away information they shouldn't have. You can go look all that up, but I don't know if you guys get a check from them. So, whatever. I'm going to keep watching them. I'm not sure what happened was that egregious, but I don't know. What I like to do here, let's highlight what is. We can look at what's newly added, about what's leaving the channel, which occasionally I will dive into and watch because I might not be able to find it on streaming ever again. Might be able to find it in the dark corners of the internet on some pirate website, but maybe never again. So, what's leaving the channel? Already, I'm not sure what to highlight here. They have a stunts movie collection. Here's The Road Warrior is in it. Whoever hasn't seen The Road Warrior, I had a student say that he watched Mad Max and he hated it. And I said, well, which Mad Max movie did you watch? And he said, the first one. And if you don't know, the first one is an indie movie by first-time director George Miller. The second Mad Max is The Road Warrior, which is a classic, especially because of the stunts. So I told the student, you didn't watch the right one, watch the second one. So there you go. Have I seen Body of Evidence? I'm not sure that's any good, but there you go. Oh boy. What should I tell you to watch here? Watch Safe. Excellent movie. Okay. I've said this before on the channel. I repeat myself if you've seen this channel. Watch Vanya on 42nd Street. That is a really good movie. It's Andre Gregory and Wally Shawn, who most of you know when you see him. But they're doing Chekhov's Uncle Vanya, an interpretation of it in a dilapidated New York City theater. I don't think there are any costumes or sets as they're doing this play. And it's a film play by Louis Malle. Julianne Moore's in it. This is an excellent movie. I'm a big Chekhov fan. I love Chekhov stuff. So interpretation of Chekhov and done in a very striking interesting way. These guys are top-notch actors. They're thoughtful. They know how to put on plays, and then you have a filmed play. This is a very good movie. Please watch it. I think this is an underseen classic of the 90s. If I ever do, I have a video on it, and Andre Gregory retweeted it. That's like my one claim to glory here. But whenever they have on Criterion a half-off sale, and you search by bestsellers for the Criterion discs that are half off, this one is at the bottom because no one's buying it. That's my assumption, at least, of why it's at the bottom. So let's raise that up because I think that's quite good as a movie. Face Off is fun. And by the way, this is why the Criterion, they're putting some modern data, but maybe I'll keep going. It's not I just screen just went totally black there, so that's not good. Anyway, I have some movies from India. That could be interesting. I lack knowledge of that. Barton Fink by the Coen brothers. Bellboy, The End of the Affair, Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, Sleepless in Seattle is on here. I don't know a single man. What do you guys like of this? What would you recommend? Carlito's Way by Brian De Palma. Check that one out. There's a lot of stuff leaving the channel that is of slight interest to some interest. I've never seen A Star Is Born, and one reason is it's 3 hours long, but it does look kind of interesting to me. Scorsese movie, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. I didn't have a good write-up of that on Letterboxd, but you might check that out because it's an early 70s Scorsese that you might want to watch because if you've seen enough Scorsese, it's probably one that people haven't seen very much of. So that's right around the time he did Mean Streets. So check that out. Lots of stuff here. I could just dive into this all day long. I did want to go into what's new because I have not looked at this. Oh, so Face Off is new, but it's going to leave in this month. There you go. You can pair these up. The Old Wuthering Heights, All Heaven Allows, Drugstore Cowboy, To Live and Die in L.A., Hunted. I haven't seen The Hunted since the movie theater. That's a William Friedkin movie. In concept, it's really cool to think about what this is. It's Tommy Lee Jones, Benicio del Toro, Connie Nielsen's in it, as that says. And it's an action-packed guy-hunting guy movie. I think one of them's I'm going to read this so I can remember exactly. It's going to play it, but is he an FBI guy? That's what I thought. Oh, yeah, that's what this is. So Del Toro's a special forces guy from Kosovo. So the late 90s U.S. military action in Kosovo, Bosnia, etc. And then he goes rogue. He's tracked down by the Tommy Lee Jones character. And the whole thing to me seems really interesting. It's like Rambo, but on steroids from Friedkin's point of view with Tommy Lee Jones in it. I did not like this in the movie theater. Now, all this said, I'm going to have to rewatch it because right now my project is to watch through the entire 2000s. And I actually mean the whole century, but 2000 to 2009. And right now I'm in 2002. That's a 2003 movie. It's 90 minutes long. I'm going to watch it. But I don't remember liking it in the theater. Now with my eyes been trained to watch movies better than I did when I was 22 or whatever I was in 2003, I probably will see it quite differently. I might. Sometimes I was right back then. Sometimes I wasn't. So I'll watch that. Check it out. Let me know if you like it. A lot of movies I haven't heard of coming onto the channel here. Bullet, I have. But if you've seen these, let us know. As I said, I don't know. I'm really going to have to do a deep dive into this because I don't know these. And that's the thing about this channel. Learning about movies is my learning. And what do any of us know? There are so many movies made. Once again, it's like if they stopped making movies today and never made another movie ever again, we'd have enough for our lifetimes. We wouldn't have movies about our own lives going forward, but we would have movies. Just so many of them, it's unbelievable. All right. What did I watch? Get rid of that. So as I said, Um, expand this so you can see some ratings. I have been in the year 2002. I just released the 2002 Oscar video. Members can see it now. It will be released eventually on Best Picture of 2001. Or excuse me, this is always confusing. 2002 Oscars are of the year 2001. Movies from the year 2001. So I've been watching movies from the year 2001. I finished that project. I'm now into movies from the year 2002. Now, 2002 is a fantastic movie year. Fantastic. It is unbelievably awesome. I'm dead sure it's like in my top 5 movie years I've ever kind of really honed in on, paid attention to. When I did a video one time on what the best movie year ever is, and I said it was 1975, and I went through why, and I think I still have that opinion. 2002, if we go on here in the next 10, 20 years, some things happen with some of these movies from 2002, we'll see. It could be right up there with 75. Yeah, that's probably too exaggerated a claim, but it's really good overall. So you'll see that in my ratings here. Of the movies I liked, Amélie, if you've never seen it, is a delightful, bright, wonderful French movie by Junet. No, you don't pronounce the T. Junet. Very good. I love his stuff, but I like eccentric, wild, stylistic, flourish stuff, as you will see. I did finish the Fast and Furious movies. I watched all 11 of them, and then I ranked them. And I actually like this movie, Fast X, which was completely trashed on the internet. I thought it was ridiculously funny. Maybe unintentionally so. I'm only bringing this up because occasionally I run into things like this where the internet is crushing a movie, and I'm like above it by a star or more. It doesn't happen very often, so when it does, I'm delighted. And so Fast 10. If you're on a treadmill and you want to see something absurd and ridiculous, that's it. But that's all I have to say about that. And my selection process is to do the best rated movies that I haven't seen. Most of them I haven't seen. A couple of them I have seen before, but I don't remember, like The Bourne Identity very well and Hero. I thought Hero was amazing. It's fantastic looking, at least. So check it out. The Chinese movie from Zhang Yimou from 2002. Right along that time, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon from Ang Lee came into our consciousness and was a Best Picture nominee. And then we had a couple of Chinese movies come out by Yimou. Another one is House of Flying Daggers. That came out a couple years after Hero. I like this quite a bit. The Man Without a Past, I'll probably write about this. Aki Kaurismäki, Finland. One of his best, in my opinion. A man with amnesia just has to enter into the society. It's a Chaplin-esque, Capra-esque kind of movie from his point of view, Kaurismäki's point of view. Great movie. You guys got to watch this. The last one I'm going to mention here of all of these is Stevie. You probably have not heard of this. This is a very difficult movie to watch. Maximum pain. I'm not kidding you. But if you are going to be a social worker, possibly a teacher, a pastor, somebody who works with people, including all manner of people, including lower class people in rural areas, you must watch this movie. And it will give you maximum pain. What it is Steve James, you can see it right there in the description, who did Hoop Dreams, the basketball movie, great movie, documentary, labor of love for him, and much acclaimed in the 90s, sometime in the mid-90s, did this where when he was making Hoop Dreams, or right after the acclaim, decided he was going to go visit the kid who he was a big brother to. Not a literal big brother, but the organization Big Brother, where an older kid helps shepherd and mentor a kid, and this organization puts them together, a kid who's of poor means or troubled youth, something like that. So Steve James is a big brother, got to this guy named Stevie, and then he loses track of him and feels some guilt for losing track of him. So he goes and visits him and films him in 1995, has a reunion with him. Then he decides to go back in 1997, and Stevie, the kid he mentored, is in a heap of trouble. Yeah, he's a criminal. If I tell you what Stevie did, you will not watch the movie. So I'm going to hold off on that. But what Steve James does is he follows his, and the name is tricky. It's like a doppelganger kind of thing. Or this could have been me if I were born in a different circumstance for Steve James. Steve James is in the film, and he regularly talks about in a postmodern fashion, but this is not a postmodern. It's like a movie that's realistic and postmodern, how he is investigating Stevie and treating him as a film subject rather than as a friend or someone to help out. And Stevie is a lower class guy with a whole heap of trauma. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so you watch this movie and you see what Stevie goes through, and Steve James as the subject in the movie, and then the object, well, the director outside of the movie, different roles. It's a really interesting movie that way. I highly recommend it. I only to some people, but I am dead serious. It's very rare to reach a point like this where I say this. That, again, if you're going to be a social worker and you don't watch this movie, you're missing out on what your life is going to be like. At least not all the time, but some of the time. You'll be dealing with people like this, and what is it like to deal with someone like this? Stevie, not just Stevie, the guy in the movie who's pictured right here, but his family too, and his circumstances and his background and his trauma and all that. This is a picture of Stevie, the subject in the movie, and then Steve James right over here, who, as I said, is in the movie. Anyway, that was much acclaimed when it came out. I don't think a lot of people know about it. If I look at this, nobody has seen this, not even anybody. It's my quote-unquote friend or on there is in their watch list, but it's recommended by both old codgers Leonard Maltin and Jonathan Rosenbaum. So there you go. What do you guys got for me? I've been on here a while, and I have other things to do, but I will spend some more time with you. And luckily, I fixed my old man eyes, and I got contacts that help me to read. I don't need my reading glasses at this point. This is fantastic. Chat. Are you planning to do your current Oscar retrospective video, but more current to this year's Oscars? Hippolito asks. Hippolito, my giant maniacal plan is, yes, to do them for every year that's ever existed, which is now I didn't do the calculation. I think that's a 10-year project. So I'm working my way through the decade of the 2000s, 2000 to 2009, and I'll definitely just go right into 2010 to 2019. But I might wait on the 2020s till the very end of that 2020s. So I have people asking me, go back to the 30s, go back to the 50s, the 70s, all that. I'll probably do that eventually because the project is really helpful. It helps me see the development of film history, changes in styles, the zeitgeist, and how it's moves from one thing to another. It helps me find out what movies are really influential. And it's just a nice personal project. It was an intellectual project that I can share with you on this channel. So the answer is yes, but it'll be a little while for this current decade to be released. Patrick says, in my early 20s and can enjoy long movies and old movies. I can't say the same for most people my age. Do you watch with a phone, Patrick? Do you watch with your tablet out? I have done this. Sometimes I do this to simulate what other people are doing so I can get in the mindset. But, honestly, once you get to a movie and it's really dull or you kind of know where it's going, it's signaling it's not worth paying attention to because it's like all these other movies. When the phone comes out, and I admit to doing that. And as of course we have heard this, that Netflix is creating their stuff, their material, knowing that's what people are doing. And that sounds awful, but it's good, smart business practice. So I'm not sure what to think of all that, truly. Last month and a half were good for going to the cinema. No Other Choice. I need to see No Other Choice. Yeah. Thank you for the compliments. 2025, a good year for movies after catching Marty Supreme, the Von Trier movie. Okay, that's good. Decent year for horror, yeah. Do I think politics is intruded in cinema in America? Too much, not enough, only a little. OFC, online purchasing has changed cinema. Politics is intruded in cinema. Well, the conversation around movies, absolutely. It's almost it seems like a religious faith for some people, maybe many people. Everything is about woke this and Trump that, and these movies are living creatures, and some of them will outlast us and find radical new context to be seen in, and then people won't even know our context and get upset about it. So like the Odyssey thing, maybe the racial portrayal is nothing to people in 50 years. Maybe it's everything. I have no idea, given the change of values and whatnot. But the conversation around, because movies are about more than just the political aspect. Even a movie that's heavily political is about more than the political aspect. Because movies, to me, are a combination of all kinds of aspects of reality. Economic, social, psychological, religious, aesthetic. I mean, aesthetics of movies are really important. And sometimes movies are about their own aesthetics. So when we just focus laser-like on politics, for whatever reason, from whatever perspective, that can be overbearing or reductive for a movie, for sure. At the same time, my thing is, this stays the same for me always. Movies are, the bulk of movies, whenever they're released and made, they're really only capturing about like 1 to 2% of reality. There's so much in the real world that they're missing. It's not entirely their fault. I mean, most movies are very particular things about very particular places and people. I don't think we're seeing enough. So that's part of me wants to say there's not enough politics because we're not seeing as much as we should see. On the other hand, people go crazy and read into movies what's not even there, or reduce them down to one political aspect. And I'm constantly fighting against that. I found people were upset about this. The movie Conclave is a great example because I saw it as holding some remarkable tensions together and depicting some real serious tensions, culture war clashes and all that. Other people were seeing only a tiny little sliver of their point of view in the movie and then condemning the movie for it when they were missing out on other ways to look at it or view it. That is a common problem. So that's my view. It's not very well articulated because I haven't thought it through and answered that question before. Is the Odyssey boring? I don't know. It might be. Probably not, though. It's Christopher Nolan. He's going to make it fun and sexy. Network versus Sweet Smell of Success. Truly, I don't know. I think if I were to show those to a group of Gen Z college students, Network would play way better. Because Network still is outrageous. I mean, given our social and media context, it's outrageous in so many ways. Sweet Smell of Success would be a much harder sell for them. Then again, social issues wise, I'm not really sure. Well, somebody's at my door. Hang on a second. Give me a couple minutes. Somebody's here. Why is somebody bothering me? I think that's a student. Let's see. Zoolander would have been not. Wait, what? Like The Hunted then now. 2022 is a favorite year for Catsy on Letterboxd. Okay. Be cool if you do more of your favorite movie years. Yeah, it's just a hard thing to do. Because you really have to. Here's the thing. I am trying to figure out what the best movies of this century are, the 21st century. So what I've learned in going through these and movie after movie from 2001 and movie after movie from 2002, and I'm way short of getting to the year 2020, is that whoever is opining about the 21st century and the best movies of, either hopefully they've been a paid film critic for the entire time and really done rigorous research and spent a lot of time watching all of these movies from the last 25 years, or they're blowing smoke. And I think most of these lists that are 21st century best ofs are blowing smoke, because I don't think people have watched enough of the movies from the 21st century to have a very strong, good opinion. I know I don't, truly. And I'm trying to achieve that, but it's going to take 2-3 years here at least for me to get to that point where I feel decently comfortable saying these are the best of the 21st century. Because even then, I won't have seen so many movies from various parts of the world. So I will still be blowing smoke at that point. Let's do the last one. I got to talk to whoever is at my door. I did miss Battle Royale. You're dead right. You are correct. Thank you. I'm always worried about missing something, and I am my own researcher, so you're right. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that. And there's Roy Andreessen. People have told me to watch his movies forever. I have not, so I missed him too from whatever movie he released in the year 2000. Favorite Michael Haneke movie? That's a good question. I love these questions because it makes me think. Actually, I will not. I don't have keyboard access, do I? Oh. You are messing with me because I can't remember them all. Do I have my phone? No. All right, hang on. This is a little tricky. Don't unplug your camera. For some reason, I don't have my keyboard plugged in, so there we go. Those of you hanging on with me, thank you. Whoever wants to watch Haneke, go ahead. He is very difficult, challenging, a dark Hitchcockian vision of things. Oh, those are his favorite movies, huh? Germany Year Zero is one of his favorites? Huh. Makes sense that he would like Sal. Okay. Yeah, let me look at these. I've definitely not seen them all. Because when I look at Time of the Wolf, I've not seen that. Yeah. I don't know. Because even to look at these, I would go, ugh, I don't want to watch that again. Oh, I don't, even though I know they're good. Oh, boy. I'm struggling here. I think maybe The Seventh Continent at the moment. And that's just me looking at this. I don't know what the best movie here is, but I actually really appreciate that one. The most acclaimed one is Amour. Ooh, that's a tough movie to watch. A White Ribbon. Yeah. I don't know, though. Go watch his movies. Watch a couple of these and see. The ones that people... I'm trying to remember Code Unknown. Oh, that's that one. Yeah, and then Cachet. This is one of his favorites. Not my favorite, though. Okay, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's probably The Seventh Continent for right now, and that's not a movie I'd necessarily recommend to other people, but I might change my mind in about 2 minutes after this video. Piano Teacher was quite good, so... But yet, I'm not looking at this movie going, oh, yeah, I really want to watch that again, because they're all hard to watch. Yeah, it's hard to say you... Comment there's classic. It's hard to say you like a Michael Haneke film. Like... How do you like that? And yet there are interesting refractions of reality. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Appreciate everything. Appreciate these compliments. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a good time. Let me know what movies you watch, what you like, and if you have any recommendations for me. So have a great day. See y'all later. All right. We did it.